Thank you and good morning. Lawrence Kirby, General Barry, all the members of the Delaware Commission of Veterans Affairs, thank you for your service and for hosting this remarkable event, to the DRBA and to everyone who serves so well, Tom Cook and others, at making this such a fantastic and important annual event. To Eugenia Thornton, thank you for your leadership of the Military Officers Association of America, our Delaware chapter, and serving as our MC today. And to all who have served, who will serve, and to our Gold Star families who have forever sacrificed, thank you. We've come together for two simple reasons today: to remember and to honor. We're here to remember and to honor our fallen. As you've just heard our Governor, John Carney, describe in painful detail, to remember those moments when those who fell in service to our nation first returned to our soil at Dover Air Force Base. To remember the families who forever have a hole in their hearts, a shadow in their lives. And to remember and honor the parents who raised them, the siblings who loved them, the children who missed them, and to remember their sacrifice. Because it is only through their sacrifice that we remain a free nation. I will not soon, I hopefully will not ever, forget the dignified transfer Governor Carney just described. And it is a powerful reminder, standing on the flight line, as a family first confronts the reality of a flag-draped transfer case, and it first becomes powerfully real to them. Nothing we say can change the pain and the purpose of that moment. But it's also important to be reminded of how long that shadow extends. You know, Judy, you've given us a great gift in a memorial for Gold Star families here, which in the empty space of the fallen soldier reminds all of us of the empty space in your hearts. And I've just this morning, it is so often that we talk about Gold Star parents, occasionally Gold Star siblings. But we have with us today George Higgins, who is a Gold Star son. George and I were visiting for a few moments before this ceremony began about his father, who served as a scout in Patton's army and was killed in 1944 in service in Germany. His presence here today is a reminder that the sacrifice of Gold Star families leaves a hole that lasts a lifetime, a generation, and that those who grow up without fathers and mothers who have fallen in service to our nation know something about the depth of that sacrifice that few of us will ever know. George, would you stand for a moment, please? So how do we best remember Chris Lepman? How do we best remember George Higgins' father? How do we best remember all who've fallen in Delaware, here and around the world, in service to our nation? Of course, having a monument that has their names forever engraved is important. But frankly, having their names engraved on our hearts and having their names drive our actions is more important than ever. Major General John Logan, for whom the Logan House in Trolley Square is named, back 150 years ago in 1868, urged us to every year decorate the graves of the fallen with flowers and flags. He remarked that he hoped this tradition would continue each and every year, and he was aspirational until the last Civil War veteran should have passed. He would be thrilled to know that we still mark and honor Memorial Day so many years later, more than 150 years since he first penned these words. General Logan of Delaware urged us to guard the fallen's graves with sacred vigilance, to let no neglect, no ravages of time testify that we have forgotten the cost of a free and undivided republic. Last but most importantly, we honor those who've fallen by taking care of and loving and supporting those who have served, those who return to us and whom we can continue to honor. That's what Veterans Day is for, and I know this is Memorial Day, but a big part of Memorial Day is being present with those who've served and are still with us today. So many of you volunteer, work to remember our history through the Delaware Military Museum, volunteer with veteran service organizations, volunteer with our Veterans Home, or serve and work there. I was blessed to spend a moment with a dear friend, Rick Evans, who's with us today. Rick was my favorite Newcastle County employee. Over the years we served together. And Rick, who's with us today, is a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and is the most positive, optimistic, faithful, and hopeful American I've ever met. Ladies and gentlemen, could you give a round of applause to Rick Evans? What a great blessing for him. You know, remembering and honoring those who've fallen by supporting and caring for those who return also requires those of us you elect to take the concerns of Gold Star families seriously. Some of you wonder whether those of us in Washington ever work across the aisle and get anything done. The press covers far too little of the genuinely positive things that happen. Last week, the Gold Star Families Tax Relief Act passed in the Senate, and my senior senator, veteran Tom Parker, was one of the advocates pushing for it. I was honored to join him in sponsoring it. It fixes a mistake in the tax bill that would have imposed a needless burden on Gold Star families. And I was so grateful for Delaware's Gold Star families who advocated for this. It got fixed. It should never have happened. And we are still able to come together to support our veterans and our Gold Star families. Let me last say, I think the most important thing any of us get to do for you, and no one knows this better than our former Vice President, Senator Joe Biden, is tireless advocacy for our constituents. If there is anything I can do as your senator, if there's anything Congresswoman Blunt Rochester can do, if there's anything Senator Tom Parker can do to advocate with the VA, please let us know. Put us in on your behalf. I want to introduce two folks from my team, Cynthia Amon and Cleo Jones, both veterans themselves. Cleo, a Marine Corps veteran, Cindy, an Army Guard veteran. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for your advocacy and for your service. Let me just say in closing, our nation calls for, our nation deserves, our nation yearns for leaders at all levels. And I am encouraged to see all the leaders of city, county, state, and federal government who are here with us today, a record turnout. We need leaders who understand the sacrifice of veterans. We need leaders who are measured and thoughtful and who know the world which your service and sacrifice helped build. 7 decades of peace and prosperity made possible by global alliances earned by the sacrifice of those who served in the Second World War, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Mr. Vice President, to you and to Jill and to Natalie, thank you for the service and sacrifice of your wonderful son and father. We are honored to be with you today, and I look forward to standing with you as just such a leader. Thank you all very much, and God bless you.
Please welcome U.S. Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester.